Parasite.
All right, here we go. Nice and easy. Oh, I just stabbed my back, but that's okay. All right. Hi. I got my notes here. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try and make this short as possible. That mustache does not look good at all. Ignore the facial hair. Honestly, it's just a phase. There are much more important things to talk about. So, the Oscars happen, and usually for me, when the Oscars happen, I like watching the Oscars. I'm one of those people who's always like, ooh, who's gonna win Best Editing? I'm one of those people. But admittedly, I was never like really fully into them because they all usually go to the movies that we all know are gonna win, and also I never felt like I had really a team in the game. It was always these American movies or these films from the UK, so I'm like, all right, I do like that movie or I do like this movie, so I'm rooting for them, but I don't really have any like emotional investment in these people. I think last year was like the one where I really had some investment in them because I really liked The Favorite and I really, really, really liked Roma. So I was like, oh man, please let those two movies just win everything. And then they just gave it to Green Book, and you're just like, all right, fuck, I guess it doesn't matter. This year was obviously very different. This was finally the year where Parasite, a Korean movie, was winning all the awards, and it was really kind of surreal to watch. Like when it won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, I was like, that is amazing, this is historical, but it's kind of too early to talk about the Oscars at this point. But then it started winning BAFTAs and SAG Awards, and it won the Golden Globe, and I was like, okay, this is happening. But then, at the Golden Globes, it didn't win anything besides the foreign language film category. Best director went to Sam Mendes. I'm gonna call him Sam Mendes for now. I'm not sure if I'm wrong, but all that happened. So I was like, all right, maybe we're not gonna win more than the foreign language film category. Maybe we'll win like best original screenplay. Maybe. I wasn't really sure. But admittedly, I think like, including me, I was with a friend. I was watching the whole ceremony with a friend. I think the whole country was watching. Like from our perspective in Korea, the Oscars started airing around 9:50. The actual event, not like including the red carpet shit. 9:50 in the morning. So we were all awake at that point, and we were all ready. It was like the fucking Super Bowl. It was like the World Cup. We were so ready to beat all these fucking Hollywood people, and quite frankly, it was kind of like Bong Joon-ho was taking the college entry exam for movies, and that's probably because we're an extremely competitive country when it comes to anything. Like, if we're in the competition against any country in anything, we're gonna beat those fucking, and there's fair gameplay, sportsmanship. Fuck that. We're gonna win. We're gonna get an A+ and everything, because that's all that matters. Emotional baggage. Fuck that shit. We're gonna win everything. Now, when they were announcing the original screenplay category, I think I was kind of nervous, mostly because Tarantino. The Oscars love Tarantino, and he's kind of like an Oscar favorite boy. And this, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the thing is, that movie's really good. I think that movie's pretty damn good, and it really deserves all the praise it's getting. It's probably his best movie in years. It's probably his best movie since, this is just me. I think it's his best movie since Pulp Fiction. So, I was like, even though I like Parasite more, I was like, man, is this just gonna go to Tarantino? But then, Diane Keaton, or was it Keanu Reeves? I think Keanu Reeves read Parasite, and I was like, oh my god, it's happening. And we won. We beat Tarantino. We beat Noah Baumbach. We're beating all these screenplays about rich white people. Hell yeah, go South Korea. We're a movie about class conflict, and the economy going to shambles in Korea is winning everything. Go team. So I was really happy. And I think most of us knew that we were gonna win the international film category, so we were like, yeah, of course. I mean, there's Pedro, Almodovar was obviously in competition. He was like the biggest threat, but still, we were like, yeah, we're gonna win this. This is just easy. This is the one we're taking. And by the time, at that point, we lost the editing category, we lost the production design category, which, I'll be honest, I think we should have won. I think just like the Peach sequence alone in Parasite, that's like the second best Peach sequence of the decade, of the 2010s, right? Alongside Call Me By Your Name. And the whole film is, the whole theme of the movie is set within the production design. Of course we should have won, but no, we had to give it to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because all the voters were like, oh, I remember the 60s. Fuck off. I know, yeah, it looked great, it was convincing, but come on, it's just a nostalgia trip. But by the time we won international film and writing, I honestly thought it was over. Like, okay, now Best Director's gonna go to Sam Mendes, 1917 is gonna win Best Picture, and it's all gonna be over, and we're gonna just be happy with our 2 Oscars. Like, quite frankly, when Bong Joon-ho won Best Writing, he was like, you saw that clip's all over the internet now. Like, he's in the bag looking at his Oscar, kind of all giddy, and you're like, hey, that's pretty cool. That warms our hearts. But then the Best Director category came, and Spike Lee, with his Luigi, Kobe referencing Prince, referencing Suit, he was up there and he was like opening the envelope, and he just said bong, and immediately the whole place erupted. And even my friend, and both me and my friend just gasped when that happened. I was like, whoa. I was not like, I thought we had a better chance of winning Best Picture than Best Director. I thought this was totally going to Sam Mendes, and it went to Bong Joon-ho, and I was like, oh my god, we're gonna win Best Picture. Like, if this is happening, we're gonna fucking win. But then, part of me was like, are they still gonna pull a Green Book on us? Is this just gonna go to 1917 and not us? Because that's how the Oscars work. It has happened before. But then Bong Joon-ho was doing that whole speech about, oh, I read this quote from Martin Scorsese, and that really inspired me. And there was a standing ovation for Martin Scorsese. Like, that really was a class move from him. And then talking about how Tarantino always talked about his movies, especially Memories of Murder and The Host, which is true. There's that video from back in the day where Tarantino was talking about, how he has worked in the movie industry for 20 years, and now here's a list of the 20 favorite movies that he's seen in the last 20 years, as of that time. And I think he mentioned The Host and Memories of Murder, and there was another Korean film called JSA, which is also a very good movie too. You guys should check it out. So Tarantino was always behind Bong Joon-ho's back. It's kind of just ironic that they're competing at this point. But, he was referencing those 2 people, and that was a class move. Usually, when directors go up there and say, oh, I love all the people I'm competing with, I have so much respect for them. Yeah, it might be true, they might be saying the truth, but at the same time, you're like, yeah, but you're still kind of glad that you won. You wouldn't give the award to other people, but based on what I was hearing from Bong Joon-ho, he clearly was he wanted to give so much honor and respect and attention to Martin Scorsese and not to himself, because he was already up there twice. And I think that was a really class move. And referencing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, when he was talking about how he would like to slice the Academy Award into 5 pieces, that was all great. Showing him as showing off his movie buffness, and telling everybody that he truly respects them. And if anybody deserves respect, it's fucking Martin Scorsese. So when, Best Picture, the announcement when it came along, I was like, man, please win. Please fucking win. They named Parasite as the last movie when they were listing all the nominees. So I was like, maybe that's intentional. Maybe they're gonna say Parasite. And, Jane Fonda, before, she read the title, there was a pause. She gave a dramatic pause. And I think that might have been intentional. But she might have done that for any movie. But she was just there standing for a second. There was a silence. She just said Parasite, and the whole the theater erupted. Me and my friend were just like, oh wow, this is this is actually happening. We're getting a step closer to world domination, and this is incredible, man. It's intense. Like, we were just like this is a historical moment for many different reasons, and I'm not just saying that because I'm Korean, but here I actually wrote down the reasons why this is like a historical moment. Like, obviously everybody knows that this is the first time that a non-English language movie won Best Picture. This is the first time in 92 years. Like, last year, Roma came this close, and the Oscars pussied out. And I think I was talking to another friend of mine. Like, he was saying that if we should thank anybody at this point, we should thank Alfonso Cuarón, because basically he kind of lubed up the ass for a non-English language film to win Best Picture. And Alfonso Cuarón almost got there, but they kind of like pushed him back inside, and then Bong Joon-ho just came in and just slammed into that asshole, and we were like, yep, that is in fact the classiest metaphor we could think of. And not only is this obviously the first non-English language film to win Best Picture, this is also I believe the third movie to win both the Palme d'Or and the Best Picture at the Oscars. Because the first one was The Lost Weekend by Billy Wilder, the second one was Marty, and now, this is the third one. It's like, this is the first time since like 1954 or 55, so it's been more than 60 years. So that's also historical. What else? This is also, we won the most Oscars that night. We won four awards. I believe 1917 won 3, but those were all in the technological department. So we won like the major categories. We won Best Director, Best International Film, Best Screenplay, and Best Picture. That's insane. I do believe that we should have won everything that we were nominated for, but I'm not not just saying that because I'm Korean. I genuinely mean it, but that's still amazing. And I think this is the main reason why this is a historical moment. I think some people might not know about this. So this is a film that was purely funded and produced by Korean companies. And why this is important is because even the closest film I believe that came, a non-English language film that came to winning Best Picture was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Roma. Those were the two movies. And Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, obviously it's in Chinese, but it was actually partially produced by Western companies. And obviously Roma was, produced by, I'm not sure if it was produced by Netflix, but it was distributed by Netflix. So other countries, American companies were kind of in the play for those two films. So that's why they had like a bigger chance to winning an Oscar at the Oscars, because let's be honest, a lot of what fuels the awards season is Hollywood power and money. Parasite was produced by solely Korean companies. It was distributed by Korean companies. It was purely in the Korean language. It was written in Korean, and somehow it won Best Picture. That's historical. That is insane. It almost feels weird. And I think that's why this is amazing, because this film didn't win because it had a lot of Hollywood money behind it. This film didn't win because it was, I don't know, like a gimmicky movie. That wasn't it. This film won because it got popular, because it was good. This film won because it was good. And man, that feels so fucking good. Like, culturally speaking, I feel like Korea is like really showing its head. Like, in recent years, that's been happening slowly. I feel like certain movies like Train to Busan and The Wailing were slowly starting to build that repertoire. I think in films like Okja and Snowpiercer were slowly building Bong Joon-ho in foreign countries. His name and his repertoire. I feel like people like BTS, Blackpink, Girls' Generation, 2NE1, CL, all these people were like amping up Korean culture and music. And since Old Boy, Korea was always like the dark horse country, but I feel like it was always like Japan that was sort of like representative of East Asian culture. But now slowly, I think this might have been the tipping point. I could be wrong, this could just be like a fluke, but I feel like this could be the tipping point where Korean culture really becomes the mainstream all over the world. And it really sort of inspires me. It makes me want to do things. It makes me want to not just sit on my ass and like go out there and like take advantage of the cultural landscape that is of right now. Like, I'm so glad that that I am a part of this generation where, you know, like when I think of, because I'm like, what, turning 22, I'm technically a Gen Z person. My generation is represented by Billie Eilish, Post Malone. On a good note, it would be like Kendrick Lamar, Frank Ocean, and like Tyler the Creator. That's my generation. And I'm so glad that a part of that my generation is also partially represented by BTS, Blackpink, and fucking Parasite. That's amazing. That feels amazing. So I guess the main thing is, if you're a person who's watching this video and has not seen Parasite, please do. It's an incredible movie. It really is. And if you're one of those people who are like, oh, I don't like subtitles, okay, that was very degrading of those people. If you don't like subtitles, still watch it. It's still great. Like, I'm gonna say it's not an art house movie. I've heard so many people say, oh, it only won because it's an art house movie. It only won because it's an independent film. It's just some weird indie movie from South Korea. Dude, this movie was produced by the biggest movie company in Korea. The biggest. We're not Disney big, but we're fucking big over here. So don't come at us with the, oh, it's just an indie movie. This is not an indie movie. It's only indie to you because it's not from your country, god damn it. I hate those kinds of people. I'm just saying, I hate those kinds of people. The kind of people who only watch movies and TV shows and only listen to music in their language from their country. That's so stupid. There's so much stuff out there. Like, Bong Joon-ho was so right. If you just get over that 1 inch of subtitle, that's just the wall you need to get over. There's so much stuff out there. That's why I listen to all that shit. Go out there. There's so much stuff to inspire you. There's so much stuff to experience. God damn. He was right, and he's really right. So, like, you know, I gotta say, like, just, so it's not this fancy schmancy pretentious art house movie. Just go watch. It's really fun. It's Hitchcockian. There's like elements of David Lynch in there, and the humor. It's great. And after watching Parasite, go watch his other movies. Go watch The Host, which is great. Go watch Mother, which is great. Go watch Snowpiercer. Please go and watch Memories of Murder. That is, I know Parasite is great. Parasite is one of the best movies I've seen in my whole life. It's one of the best Korean films I've seen in my whole life. But Memories of Murder, that's one of my favorite movies ever. Like, just ever in the history of films. That's like right alongside The Apartment, Persona, La Dolce Vita, fucking, you know, Ikiru, all those fucking movies. Memories of Murder is one of the best films ever. That's still his best movie. Parasite is still like number 2. So please check out Memories of Murder. Just please check out Korean new wave movies, Korean classic films. Check out Seopyeonjae. Check out fucking the original Housemaid. Check out The Handmaiden. Check out all these movies. They're so good. And not just Korean movies. Just check out movies in general. God damn it. That's just my little rant and my commentary on what happened at the Oscars for Parasite. I'm very happy. I'm so happy. It means a lot to me. I've seen some videos where like people were crying because Parasite went out. I didn't have that reaction, but I was very happy, and I'm so glad this is happening. I'm so glad this wave is happening. I do have some other things to talk about the Oscars. I'm glad that Laura Dern won. She was great in The Marriage Story. My friend did say that she should have won for Little Women, but overall, I'm just glad she won because this is like her first Oscar, which is crazy. Like, she's been in the industry for more than 30 years. She's been in so many classic films at this point, and this is her first Oscar. And it might as well have been for Marriage Story, because that, like the second you see her in action as a lawyer, that's when you realize this is like one of the best performances of the year, of 2019. And that's also just a great movie. I love Noah Baumbach. I liked Joaquin Phoenix's speech. I think he was like just kind of like cutting through the bullshit of the whole ceremony, and I'm glad that he said that in front of the whole Parasite cast, because he was basically like, you know, rooting for them as well. Although at the end he was like kind of criticizing cancel culture, and I was like, wow, I don't know about that, Joaquin. I'm not sure about that, but you know, you do you. I hate to say it, Renee Zellweger's speech was one of the most boring speeches I've ever heard in my whole life. It was like just a list of award speech cliches, and I was just like,
Come on, we can do better than this. What else? Olivia Colman. Just let her host the Oscars. Just let British people host it. British comedic actors host the Oscars. They're great. They know what they're fucking doing. And a lot of this, a good chunk of the ceremony did feel like damage control because a lot of people were saying like, oh, outside of Parasite, basically every fucking nominee is a goddamn white person. And basically what they did was like, okay, what can we do to make people stop saying we're fucking racist? Should we give everything to Parasite? No, that's not enough. That's not enough. We're gonna put random non-white performers in the middle of the show to do random shit. What? Give us like throw ideas. Summarizing the show so far. Why not? Let's do a rap about it because kids are into rap these days. Oh, but like we gotta balance that out with a random Eminem. We gotta balance that shit out with a random Eminem performance, and also let's bring Billie Eilish because people like Billie Eilish. She did that. She actually did a really good job with Yesterday. That was a solid cover. I love that she was always like in the lower register of her voice and never like did anything flashy because that's kind of like what you need for that moment when it comes to the in memoriam speech. Rest in peace to Kobe. Rest in peace to Kirk Douglas. All those people. The camera stopped going, so I'm just gonna say that again. Rest in peace to everyone who was not in the fucking in memoriam bit because there were some people they were missing, and that kind of is sad. This is the main damage control. Like, obviously, there were a lot of movies that were snubbed this year. Us was not nominated. Midsommar was not nominated. My Name is Dolomite. Uncut Gems. So many films were not nominated. And basically, in the beginning, when Janelle Monáe was doing her Oscar version rendition of "Come Alive" from her Arc Android album, all the people who were dancing had outfits that were from those snubbed movies, which is very strange. It's almost like the Oscars were teasing, but clearly they were intending damage control. It was very strange. Adam Sandler. These are the two performances that I feel like should have been nominated. Adam Sandler from Uncut Gems, incredible, insane. That's like his best performance since Punch Drunk Love. That was an incredible movie. So the fact that he was not nominated, I don't care if Uncut Gems was nominated for Best Picture. That's fine. But he wasn't nominated. Another person, three people then. Willem Dafoe from The Lighthouse, incredible, insane performance. Should have given him at least a nomination. Quite frankly, if he was nominated, I think he should have won. Brad Pitt was clearly the choice, maybe Al Pacino, but if Willem Dafoe from The Lighthouse was nominated, he totally should have won. And fucking Choi Jung. Most of you probably might not know who she is, but Choi Jung is the actress who played the rich mother in Parasite, who, in my opinion, clearly had the best performance. Either her or Song Kang-ho Song Kang-ho, who played the father from the poor family from Parasite. He should have been nominated for best actor, but one of those two should have been nominated because that's just stupid. It's stupid. You let the actors from Roma get nominated. Why not us? Why? Why not Oscars? Why the fuck not? You're gonna give us fucking best pick. Also, if you're gonna bring Aurora to sing at the Oscars, let her be in the front. Why just put her away in the back? Just do the just that bullshit. Come on, just let her perform in the front. And you let us win, but didn't bring the Korean Elsa. That was a missed opportunity, guys. Anyways, that's my opinion on the fucking Oscars. I have not seen all the movies. I've seen the Joker, I've seen Marriage Story, I've seen The Irishman, I've seen Parasite. I know I've seen another one, but I can't think of that one right now. But, overall, I'm satisfied. My team won. That's all that matters because I am a selfish bitch. Yeah. Go watch Parasite. It's probably going to be in theaters near you very soon. Bye.